Hello, I'm Dr. Danielle Conway. I'm a veterinary nutritionist, founder of Verity Pet Nutrition, where you'll find truth in every bite. This month, we're talking about carbohydrates. This week, we're breaking it down with our feline friends. Carbohydrates are complex. And it's true that dogs and cats don't have a carbohydrate requirement, but that doesn't mean that they don't benefit from having carbohydrates in their diet, and it doesn't mean that carbohydrates are harmful. Cats, even more so than dogs, they're obligate carnivores, unlike dogs. But that still doesn't mean that they don't benefit from having carbohydrates in their diet, and it doesn't mean that carbohydrates are harmful in their diet. So, one thing that you may see floating around from people who don't truly understand nutrition is this idea that carbohydrates cause diseases. I've heard that carbohydrates cause cancer. I've heard that carbohydrates cause diabetes in cats, that cause obesity. There are people who will blame an entire macronutrient category for all of the world's evils. And that should be an automatic red flag. Anybody who is willing to vilify an entire macronutrient category, you really shouldn't be taking their advice on nutrition, because it means they don't understand it well themselves, or even worse, they're trying to manipulate you and sell you something. But cats are not broken dogs. They are a species adapted to a very specific metabolic environment, just like the Fremen. This week, we're going to talk about Dune and cats and carbohydrates. Dune is set on a harsh desert planet where survival depends on extreme biological and cultural adaptation. The people who thrive don't do so because they're weak or limited, but because they're highly specialized. Outsiders constantly misunderstand them, and those misunderstandings are dangerous for them. Cats are metabolically specialized, like the Fremen. They are evolved for high-protein, prey-based diets. That means they have different enzyme patterns, different insulin dynamics, and different tolerance thresholds. Specialized does not mean incapable or incompatible. This is where the carb discourse goes wrong. And this is a classic Dune mistake, assuming that one variable explains a complex system. In Dune, outsiders think that the desert itself is the enemy. In feline nutrition, carbs become the desert. But diabetes risk isn't about excess calories. It is about excess calories, obesity, chronic insulin demand, inactivity, overall diet structure. Not one single macronutrient acting alone. In Dune, fear-based simplifications get people killed because they ignore systems thinking. Cats can't handle carbohydrates feels tidy because they're carnivores, right? But it's also incomplete. It's an incomplete understanding. And just like the spice economy, feline metabolism is about dose, context, and long-term regulation, not about absolutes. You don't destabilize Arrakis with one variable. You destabilize by disrupting the system. Same as cats, with too many calories, poor portion control, inappropriate energy density, and lack of movement. Carbs are just often the most visible scapegoat. Cats are metabolically specialized. They're not metabolically fragile. They're obligate carnivores, and they can do fine on a diet without carbohydrates. They still have a glucose requirement. They are constantly in gluconeogenesis. Their bodies are constantly making glucose. But that doesn't mean that giving them carbohydrates or providing an efficient source of glucose is a bad thing. Do we want their diets to be all carbohydrate? Heck no. No. But simply pointing a finger at a diet type or a macronutrient type is not fair and is not doing your cat or the industry any service. I hope this was helpful, and I hope this breaks down some of the fear or guilt that comes with a lot of the marketing and also the education that is out there from the grifters. You're a wonderful cat guardian. Your cat's lucky to have you if you've made it all the way through this video. I hope it was helpful. If you found it helpful, please subscribe and continue to come back every week where we'll talk about a complex, nuanced nutrition topic to help you make better informed decisions If you want even more information, please consider joining Unbiased Bites, which is a community that I've created for pet guardians who want to learn how to evaluate pet products and decide if they have earned a place in your pet's routine. I'm trying to arm with information and decision-making tools rather than just telling you what to do or what not to do. I'm actually trying to de-influence you. I don't want you to buy anything. I want to give you information so that you can decide what you want to do in your own home safely with your pet in mind. Happy feeding.